Forecasting the Personal Cloud, helping you, the small to medium business, better manage and monetize your data. In this episode, our panel of personal cloud experts, 3 of the top manufacturers, show and tell how their devices can help accelerate your business. We demonstrate just how easy they are to use.
It's great because you don't have to teach people anything. The less the user has to know, the less the user has to do, the better it is for us.
Plus, how these Intel-powered devices are helping to grow the Pulse network.
Our clients are actually going to be happier with our work because it's going to be more creative and it's going to get to them faster.
Personal cloud expert Eric Lundquist chimes in.
You lose the data, and it's not something that you're going to recover in a day or two.
And how is McAfee securing the personal cloud?
The biggest challenge that SMBs typically face in securing their data is the fact that most of the SMBs aren't and don't employ security experts.
Forecasting the personal cloud. Your company, your data, your opportunity to grow your business. And we are excited to hopefully help you grow your business. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 in a 3-part series called Forecasting the Personal Cloud. I'm Butch Stearns of the Pulse Network. We're proud to bring you this series sponsored by Intel to hopefully educate you and inform you about the personal cloud and to discuss and debate your data. To take a closer look at your data and see how you can grow your business. Our specific goal, speaking to you, the small business person, is to help you better understand how network-attached storage can allow you to better manage and monetize your data, and again, hopefully grow your business, to be more efficient and more effective, and how the power of the personal cloud can help you do business better. Couple of reminders for you before we bring in our panel of experts and the other people on this show. Hashtag personal cloud. Since we started this series, we've been continuing a conversation on Twitter that you can be a part of right now if you're just tuning in. Just follow or search hashtag personal cloud. If you would like to send a question during this show, we'll take live questions if you're watching this show live. Just put in the hashtag personal cloud and you can be a part of this programming of this content. Storage, security, access, collaboration, all driven by the intelligence of Intel. All those subjects we'll be talking about in this show. And now, without further ado, let's bring in our panel of 3 experts for this show. They are 3 distinguished, passionate gentlemen who are trying to help small to medium businesses do business better by using the personal cloud. All 3 of them represent companies that make network-attached storage devices that are powered by Intel. On the left is Mike Chang from Thecus. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Good. How are you?
In the middle is Tom Gallivan from Western Digital. Tom, how are you?
Good afternoon, Butch.
And Hernan Lopez from QNAP. Hernan, how are you, my friend?
Doing fantastic, Butch. Thank you.
All right, let's start with you, Mike, and let's talk, the 3 of you each. Introduce yourselves again to people if they don't know who you are and who your companies are. Talk about your companies, your role, and how are you specifically helping SMBs with their data. Mike?
Hi, so my name is Mike Chang. I'm in charge of PR, and I'm in charge of the territories of the US, UK, and Australia. At Thecus, we specialize in NAS. We're well known to be the creator in storage, and we're consistently bringing innovation to the IT field.
And Tom, as the VP of Small to Medium Business at Western Digital, you deal directly with the people that we're talking to. You're passionate about what you do. You love your company. You love your products, don't you?
Absolutely. We're a $15 billion pioneer in the storage business, and our division is specifically focused on defining the needs of small business owners and delivering products that simplify, reduce complexity, and enable small businesses to focus on their business and protect their data.
And Mike and Thecus are the creators in storage. Tom and Western Digital, connect, protect, collaborate. Hernan, when we talk about QNAP, the acronym for your company says it all. Quality Network Appliance Provider. As a regional director there, again, you're passionate about what you do, aren't you?
Yes, definitely. Here at QNAP, we are definitely passionate and proud of what we do, the product that we've created. Like you've mentioned, quality network appliance is what we strive for. We continue to create a better and better product for the public. So far, we've been doing so good, and we will continue to excel in creating these products.
All right, so that is our expert panel. Again, you can chime in by using the hashtag personal cloud. We'll be taking questions for them. I'll be passing them along. They'll be answering those questions. This is forecasting the personal cloud. So when it comes to data for you, small to medium business people, there's lots of things to consider. Your needs, your capabilities when it comes to access, security, collaboration, using your data, storage, all those things. To help us in this discussion on this program, we're bringing in our own personal cloud expert. His name is Eric Lundquist. He's a longtime friend of the Pulse. He has an extensive background in content development and audience strategies. And you can find his regular column in Information Week. Here's Eric Lundquist on the need for storage and the importance of network-attached storage devices.
Storage is important to a company because that's where your company is. That's the data that your company contains. That's how you operate as a company. If you lose that information, you might as well just shut down because you're not going to be able to continue on. You want to have access to that information immediately. You want it to have it backed up in case you need it. SMBs don't traditionally have a staff that's going to worry about that. They have to do it within their own organization. So things like network-attached storage become very important because as much as you use storage outside of the organization, you really want to make sure you also have a copy of it inside. As I said, if you don't have the data, you don't have a company.
So again, hashtag personal cloud if you would like to participate in the discussion that's going on live, if you're consuming this content live and watching this programming live. Eric has been a longtime friend of the Pulse. We're going to hear from him throughout the show. There are people who have been having discussions about this since we started our series, Forecasting the Personal Cloud, sponsored by Intel. So let's go to Twitter right now, and let's start with a question for you, Hernan. And this question comes in from Deborah Andler, and it says, why should I have my own personal cloud? What will it do for me that maybe I'm not thinking about? Hernan?
Sure, Butch. That is a really good question. I mean, how does it apply when we're talking about a cloud technology? A lot of times we think about maybe a corporation or companies using it, but personal users, it's very important to be able to access your files at any given time. Again, they're your own personal files. Why should you have to depend on a different or a third-party company if they're your files? They're your own personal files. You should be able to access your files, your music, your pictures, all your data, and on the go, whether it's on your smartphone, whether it's on your desktop, while you're having coffee, you'd be able to contact all this data, retrieve all this data at any given time. So it does in itself make it convenient for someone to be able to access their information.
So a quick follow-up with you, Hernan, and people can see this if they go back to episodes 1 and 2 in this series. What makes the cloud personal is really the device, isn't it? Having it on site with you, having it backed up, having that personal connection with your data for your company, right?
Yes, that is correct, Butch, and I think that's the most important aspect of having your own NAS, your own network attached storage unit, is that it's your data. You can access it anytime. You can put your personal information. It's secured at different levels. So you can rest assured to sleep at night knowing that it's very secure. You can access it again from your phone, from your laptop, from your PC on the go, anywhere around the world.
So again, let's go back to Twitter. We've got an engaging conversation ongoing since we started this series about the personal cloud. And this one comes in from Nobu, who says, can you give an example of how a network-attached storage device or system can help a business grow? That's a great one, and one that can be taken in many different directions. Tom, let me go to you with this one. Do you have a specific example, or one by industry, or one by specific company?
Well, it's all about efficiency in small business today. You know, we all have limited resources and multiple projects to work on. So, you know, IT is complex and it's a lot of work. And so by simplifying the storage requirements, by making data available to your employees, to your consultants, to your vendors, with simplified sharing, with file access from remote locations, from multiple devices. All of that complexity goes away with a personal cloud storage device on premise in a small business. So reducing complexity and enabling these businesses to really drive their business, which is more sales, more customer touches, more vendor solutions for their customers is what it's all about. And so turning IT into a competitive advantage versus making it very cumbersome and complex, which is what IT was in the past.
Yeah, I think that's very well said, Tom. I think it gives IT a stronger seat at the desk. It's more than just the systems. It's about helping your systems do business better, and I think you said it very well. Mike Chang from Thecus has got a specific tweet for you and a question for you that comes in from Heavy Digital. And he says, we produce independent film and video using external hard drives for storage. So for our business, why would we need, in capital letters, a personal cloud device? Why would a company like that need a network attached storage device, Mike, in your opinion?
All right, so a NAS is has a lot of capabilities. What it first does is it faces challenges such as explosion of data, fosters sensitive data backup, promotes an easy way to share data. File sharing can be consolidated and managed centrally. What it also does is saves overall time and cost, recovering data when lost, such like that. And biggest benefit is being able to recover lost and deleted files. As the NAS is linked on IP, it's on a network, you can actually share and back up data, not just like an external hard drive where it's just a hard drive itself.
Well said, well said. All right, so we practiced what we're preaching here to get ready for this episode. We are a small to medium business, like many of you out there. We face a lot of the same challenges and have a lot of the same opportunities. We are, here at the Pulse Network, a leader in the social TV space. We are an emerging digital marketing company. We decided to ask ourselves the question, how can network attached storage help us? So what we did with the help of our three panelists and their three companies, we decided to try out their individual devices, integrate them into our system, and find out how they can help out the Pulse Network. What we found out, well, actually what our Chief Technology Officer, John Saber, started doing and found out is that these devices really make it easy to get started. Roughly 140,000 hard drives crash in the US each week. And with businesses now maintaining an increasingly large number of electronic documents and presentation sets, including video clips, it's imperative that they move those files to a location that is safe and secure, as well as quick and accessible. In order not to become another statistic, many small business owners have turned to network-attached storage solutions.
Yeah, that's a nice setup.
That's why we had our own CTO implement a trio of devices and gave our employees free rein to test them out.
You know, what we're looking for a data solution is something that's redundant, secure, fast.
The QNAP TS469 Pro touts itself as a plug-and-play device that speed and processing time puts the driver in the fast lane right from deployment.
Are in. Cool. That was easy enough. They gave you real simple steps. You know, you start the software for the QNAP, and it went out and found the unit, and then you just ran. It had wizards when you ran the software.
Next up, the Western Digital Sentinel DX4000.
That was pretty nice. It's a Windows-based unit, so it's for our environment, which is a Windows-based, it's probably the easiest one to get integrated.
This cube-like device also provides dual inputs for power, Ethernet, and USB ports to assure a connection even if the primary one goes down.
Wow, it's got two power supplies. That's pretty cool.
Thecus recently upgraded its SMB NAS line and launched the Thecus N4800. Like the QNAP device, the Thecus N4800 runs on the Linux operating system. Its unique front displays inform the user of the status of the machine without having to navigate through a menu.
And you could see that the lights were now highlighted. When we first turned it on, the lights were dark, which means it didn't recognize the drives. So it's kind of neat that it came up and flashed that it's working now. The Thecus, it just said go to this IP, and it had a nice little wizard to set it up. The manuals are great. but you really didn't need it for a lot of it because it was all like nice wizards just to get it up and running.
3 devices, 3 approaches to a NAS solution, all with the power of Intel.
Nice thing about all 3 of these units is they were really easy to set up and configure. I would say the initial setup took all of 15 minutes for each one of them, and then configuring the Reid, how I wanted set up, and then adding it to the environment. Each one took a little bit different amount of time, but in terms of adding them to the our ESX, our virtual environment, they were all 3 were very easy to configure the Reid. And so what I did is I actually took the terabyte drives that I created, I added it to a server I have built out of. It's great because you don't have to teach people anything. You don't actually have to say, you know, you got to do this, or they have to load any special software or anything like that. It's really nice and clean and easy. The less the user has to know, the less the user has to do, the better it is for us. Everybody says time is money, so the less amount of time I have to spend doing something, the faster I can get something done, the better off everybody is.
So, the QNAP TS469 Pro, the Western Digital Sentinel DX4000, and the Thecus N4800, we have implemented all those devices into our system. Here at the Pulse Network, when it comes to our data, like you, I'm sure not unlike a lot of you, the first thing we think about is storage. Where and how are we storing our large, vital, often private files as we continue to grow? There's an explosion of data, as we all know, going on, no matter what industry we're in, no matter what you do for a living with your business. You know it, I know it, and we all know it, and our competition knows it too. So let's go back to Eric Lundquist on the explosion of data and a specific question for our panelists.
When it comes to the explosion of data, you never have enough storage. There's always going to be more required. Just think of it, storage used to be sort of all the ones and O's of a spreadsheet or something like that. Once multimedia became part of the environment, the amount of storage really just grows and grows and grows. What becomes difficult, more and more difficult, is how do you know what's in that storage? What's the management system you put over your personal cloud around storage so you can get at the data when you need it? So for you panelists, how do your devices actually help SMBs solve their storage needs?
There you go, Tom. Let's start with you. As far as Eric's question on how the Western Digital DX4000 helps people with their storage needs.
Thanks, Butch. Well, good question. And I'd say we start small with a 4 terabyte or a 6 terabyte configuration with the ability to grow that to 8 or 12 terabytes by just simply adding another 1 or 2 hard drives to the enclosure. It comes pre-configured from the factory, so there's no RAID setup. The RAID setup is done in the factory. The IP address automatically shows up on the LCD on the unit, so that all the complexity that used to be done by an IT pro can be done by the typical business owner today, or someone in the office that might have a little IT experience. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, that's good.
So our whole goal was to reduce complexity.
Yep.
To be simple, but yet to offer enterprise class features. So the product focuses on data protection. People want to have their data safe. They want to be safe from a hard drive failure. They want to be safe from a network failure. They want to be safe from a power failure. And we built all of that into the product. In addition, we also added a monitor tab within the user interface, so you can go to one page and see the complete health of the host system, from the fans, the CPU, the drives, the RAID array. All of that comes with a single pane of viewing for the user, so that if they do want to call support or call an expert, they can go to that one monitor tab and see all of the data on a single screen.
So when it comes to storage, one of the things we found by using all 3 of your devices, and by the way, throughout this show, we're going to have individual case studies and show you specifically from people within the Pulse Network some of the features of these devices and how they helped us. But when it comes to storage, let me go to you, Hernan. I look at QNAP, and for almost a decade now, you guys have been bringing, numerous technologies to the market, always keeping up with what's going on. How has the QNAP TS469 Pro, or how have your devices, how do they address storage needs for clients?
Well, we've helped our clients, which is a really good question, Butch. The ability to be able to access your files on the go is really important, especially in this day and age. We're talking about being able to edit a file in your office and on the go be able to look at it, send it over to your boss and say, hey, look, here's a review. Take a look at it. Tell me if we need to make any changes. And again, this isn't something, these are large files that you can view remotely off your smartphone. If you notice, when you email something, there's restrictions of how much data can go through an email. When you're using a QNAP NAS, that does not come into play. You'll be able to share it with a link. You click on the link, it opens a folder, you start downloading it to your PC, or you can access it offline as well, viewing your smartphone. So in those cases, it helps out a company, small business or large business, when they're on the go, when people need answers and information immediately. NAS is a perfect way to go.
So in this program here, we're going to talk about access and collaboration, risk mitigation. We're going to talk about security coming up next. Mike, let me go to you. When we talk about storage, and I look at Thecus, I mean, let's just go to your slogan, creator in storage. So it's pretty obvious that you guys start there, and that's sort of your DNA, isn't it?
Yes. So there's three key factors that I'd like to point out for Thecus NAS. There are affordability, high efficiency, and pure performance. The way we achieve these three are by using Intel Atom CPUs. Thecus has been working to make solutions that are affordable and manageable for the SMB user. With that, our NAS are compatible with greater HDD capacity hard drives, up to 4 terabytes. Once you're managing all these more sensitive data with the data explosion, it's easy for our NAS to recover from downtime and disasters from using hot swappable hard drives. And like you guys all know that we do offer the personal cloud access, so it gives you more flexibility and convenience. And with that, to end it, is we also have, for the 4800, the N4800, we offer the mini UPS. What that actually is a backup battery. So in case of a power failure, the backup battery provides at least 5 to 10 minutes for you to conduct a proper shutdown, so your data is safe.
So the individual case studies of your products, Thecus, QNAP, and Western Digital, will have coming up in a minute. But let's talk about security for a second. Clearly, as a small to medium business, you out there, we all have our needs and our challenges of storing our data, but we also have similar needs of keeping it safe and giving access to the people that we want. When it comes to security, when it comes to internet security, of course, a name you can trust, a name you know, is McAfee. For more on how McAfee is now helping to secure the personal cloud, here's McAfee's Tony Magallanes.
McAfee is the single largest security-based company in the world. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of the Intel Corporation, who purchased McAfee about 18 months ago. McAfee has been known as an antivirus company in the past, but today McAfee does so much more. We also work very well in the embedded space on things like ATMs, medical devices, and including things such as NAS devices. The biggest challenge that SMBs typically face in securing their data is the fact that most of the SMBs aren't and don't employ security experts.
Why is security becoming so important in this industry right now, Tony?
Many of these SMBs that these devices are being targeted towards are starting to store more and more data on the systems themselves. So it's important that the systems themselves be virus-free or malware-free. The way the devices have been secured in the past, it relied on scheduled scans. And so if a device became infected, that infection remained on that system until another scheduled scan came along. And typically that was done maybe once or twice a day. And what ends up happening is the device ends up propagating malware, whereas if the real-time scanning were enabled on that type of system, we'd be able to catch it immediately and mitigate the threat at that point.
So let's get into our first case study. Again, we implemented all 3 of these devices into our system, and we're talking right now about the QNAP TS469 Pro. When it comes to sharing our data and also keeping it secure, we have a lot of the same concerns, a lot of the same issues that you have. When we started using the QNAP MyCloud NAS, we found out, yes, you can share data and also keep it secure.
My name's Kari Stearns. I'm an account manager here at the Pulse Network, and I work directly with our clients. They range from small, medium business all the way up to enterprise. I'm sharing files with my clients daily, and these files need to be confidential. The files I send range from project plans, which are simple Excel documents, all the way to huge video files that I need to send to get approval on. The QNAP device really helped me share these files back and forth with my clients. The QNAP MyCloud NAS really gives you a quick and easy way to set up your own private cloud. You don't really need to worry about how or when your files are getting to your clients. You know that they're getting there and that they're secure, and so you can focus your time and energy on other things. For example, I work with a medical research company, and not only do I need to be able to share files with them in a timely manner, but security is everything. Bottom line is that since setting up the QNAP device in the office, we work more efficiently, and I know that our data is secure.
Nice job by our Kari Stearns there, talking about the QNAP device, the TS469 Pro. Hernan, let me bring you in to start. Let's talk about your device and how it worked for us. As you heard Kari say there, when it comes to security, she's confident that our documents are being shared where we want and only where we want.
Yes, Butch, that is correct, what Kari was saying. And again, it's very important. You guys are working with vital data and being, accessing this information throughout the web. So security is very important. Our QNAP products do come with its own antivirus that we developed. And also you have the ability there's different levels of security when working with a network attached storage unit like QNAPs. In that, first of all, you can back up your data, right? Obviously, you have the RAID configuration. So in case anything ever does fail, you have the ability to access your files, go back and access them at the local level. At the same time, you have the cloud technology to back up your files. Let's say you're using a Mac environment where you can actually go back and backdate your files and retrieve them. So yes, there is, in that instance, on the local level security, as well as encryption when the data is being transferred in and out of the network attached storage to its final destination. So it is very secure, and it is important, obviously, for corporations to keep that security. So we definitely keep that in mind and constantly raise the level on security here at QNAP.
Mike, when you're talking to potential clients or your clients, and when it comes to security issues, what do you tell them about the Thecus device that puts them at ease?
So oftentimes a lot of people focus a lot about backing up their data, but they don't think about their actual hardware, the NAS getting affected. So what Mac does is it protects the NAS from harmful viruses like malware. So this is why Thecus chooses McAfee to protect our NAS.
And Tom, when it comes to the WD Sentinel DX4000 or all Western Digital devices, I mean, is security where you start? Is that the first thing people talk to you about after storage, or is it the first thing that's on their mind?
Well, I think the world that we live in today with the proliferation of devices is raised the level of importance of security. So, we talk about joining their Active Directory domain and therefore they have the protection of that setup that they have within their current infrastructure. We talk about secure remote access. So because you're accessing it on the go from a mobile device through any browser, you want to be on a secure connection. So we've built that into the product, and in addition to the encryption, compression, and offsite replication capabilities that are, as I mentioned, enterprise class features for the small businessman at a very affordable price.
So when we talk about storage of your data, when we talk about security of your data, those are a couple very important things. Kari alluded there to talking about sharing your data. We all have that need, again, no matter what industry and no matter what the files are like. So when you start to think about accessing your data, accessing it on multiple devices in real time, how you can collaborate better to be more efficient with your business and more effective. Let's hear Eric Lundquist, who has some thoughts about collaboration in your business.
So when you think of collaboration, which traditionally used to be you and me looking over a piece of paper and marking it up, before we went on the air and media with it, that activity is now taking place, except it's someone with a smartphone in one area, someone with a tablet in another area. They get up, they want to move. It's people are gathered around the water cooler with their tablets. So collaboration has always been important in companies, but it's really a different definition right now of how that takes place, how you go in and access that information, and how do you keep track of it?
So let's talk about collaboration specifically here at The Pulse, some of the issues and challenges that we have, and specifically how the Western Digital DX4000 has helped us when it comes to meeting those challenges. Here's the Pulse Network's Tyler Pyburn.
We've got a pretty solid editing team. What's interesting about us is we've got guys that are good at a lot of different things. We've got animators, we've got editors, we've got audio mixers. Everybody needs to have the ability to have their hands on that footage at one point in time to make sure that we're all helping the creative process along and really getting the video to the best of its ability. The problem was that we were saving everything locally, and when we're doing that, we basically had to play musical chairs around the entire room or work across the network, which just does not work. When we got the Western Digital Sentinel, things changed immediately. The DLNA capabilities, which allows you to stream video, we were all able to access and collaborate on that drive at the exact same time and work on it simultaneously. Our clients are actually going to be happier with our work because it's going to be more creative and it's going to get to them faster. So they're going to have something in their hands to look at in a much faster manner than it was before.
So Tom, let me bring you in. Obviously, the Western Digital DX4000 worked for us. You could see some of the problems it solved. We're being more efficient just using your device. We thank you for the implementation of that and allowing us to use that. But clearly, if I'm out there watching this program and I'm in a different business, if I'm in a retail business, if I'm in an online business, I may not have huge files or video files or different access. So how does the WD-DX4000 work cross industries?
Very good question, Butch. I mean, the reality is it all starts with the architecture of the box. That's why we chose the Intel Atom CPU to get the performance. We want to fill the pipe as big as we can, so we put gigabit Ethernet ports on the product. We want to have multiple users accessing the information simultaneously. The Intel CPU architecture with the Ethernet capability and the network capability enable that type of behavior, whether you're a auto shop or a medical office or a legal office. Data patterns are consistent. Multiple users accessing different files, whether it's PowerPoint, Excel, but as we've seen today, the rich media content that was referenced in the clip there, having a full DLNA media server in the product is very helpful because people are using content, whether they're trying to sell more product or whether they're sharing testimonials with customers online. Rich content is pervasive in our business world today, and people want to have access to it.
There is, as I mentioned off the top of the show, an engaging conversation going on Twitter, people using the hashtag personal cloud. And I want to go to a tweet right now that came in before the show. And the question was from eHutch79. What are the indexing and search capabilities like for personal cloud products? You know what, Hernan? Let me throw that question directly at you for QNAP. What are the indexing and searching capabilities like for QNAP devices?
Sure, thanks, Butch. Very simple. It's a simple search. There is a little search box, top right-hand side of the GUI. Type in your word, and it'll list all the keywords that the search is. Very simple to use. It's works with Windows AD, so you can drag and drop files. Even from remotely, you can upload something. Let's say off of your phone, you take a picture of something on your smartphone. You can simply upload it to your NAS, and at that moment designate to which file and which folder you want it to be at. At that point, you can designate to which file and which user. You can create up to 2,000 over 2,000 users, so with distinct different levels of security.
So, Mike, when we talk about collaboration, I mean, again, if I'm a small to medium business, it doesn't mean I'm not global necessarily. It probably means, it should mean that I need mobile. And if I'm just scratching the surface on the mobile capabilities of my organization, I really need to tap into it. Again, collaboration means something different for everybody, but I think what it similarly means is being able to do things more efficiently and more effectively and using my data to keep up with my competition. So in that vein, how do you with Thecus talk to your clients about collaboration using NAS devices?
Oftentimes, SMB users, they might have big projects going on, and sometimes the most important thing is time, getting files to every participant in a quick manner. So sometimes using email or some type of transfer, it might not be the fastest way. So what a user can do is upload their data, their sensitive or large data on the cloud, and other people can just go in and download it directly.
Again, you are watching Forecasting the Personal Cloud. This is a 3-part series that we are putting on here at the Pulse Network. If you are watching this live, we thank you for being part of the conversation. If you're watching it on demand, just go to the pulseonpersonalcloud.com and you can have links to all 3 of the episodes here. You can be a part of this discussion in this show by just using the hashtag Personal Cloud. There is an ongoing conversation going on Twitter right now. We have our 3 panelists, our 3 personal cloud experts on our show: Mike Chang from Thecus, Tom Gallivan from Western Digital, and Hernan Lopez for QNAP. Gentlemen, we thank you for being a part of the show. We've talked about storage, we've talked about security, we've talked about access and collaboration. Now let's talk about risk mitigation. This is something like insurance in a personal level that on a business level you don't like to talk about, but you need to be prepared for. You sort of know you have to be prepared for a data loss, have to have backup and all that stuff, but you don't really know until you suffer a loss. So when we talk about risk mitigation, let's go back to Eric Lundquist talking about redundancy, backup, a loss, what it could mean to you. And Eric does a really nice job here of scaring us all.
If you don't have backup, if you don't have your personal cloud where you can do backup, you're going to be out of business if you lose your data. And that is true, again, whether you're a physical company, digital company, whatever. You lose the data, and it's not something that you're going to recover in a day or two if you really have not backed up your data. You could be out of business permanently.
When it comes to risk mitigation, when it comes to loss of data here at the Pulse or wherever you are, you need that person on that wall. You want that person on that wall. And within our walls, that's Andrew Reid. He is the head of our platform development team here at the Pulse. And here's Andrew on what the Thecus N4800 has done for the Pulse. Here's more from Andrew Reid.
I'm Andrew Reid, Director of Platform Development at the Pulse Network. Well, my primary role is software development. But at any small business, the IT department's always doing multiple things. Here at the Pulse Network, we do data in lots of different forms. Our customers come to us as an IT firm thinking that their data is secure and safe. The last thing they want to worry about is losing data, like anyone. What we're looking for a data solution is something that's redundant, secure, fast. A lot of the technologies now rely on Reid. Basically what Reid is taking, a hardware solution that has multiple drives, taking your data and partitioning and copying them over to multiple drives so that if you lose one physical drive, you don't lose your data. The Thecus uses 5 different Reid solutions: 0, 1, 5, 10, and JBOD. And Thecus is great because it's on the gigabit port, so it's a super fast solution that our terminals can remote into it, use the data, edit it, post it back real quick. There's a lot of cool features with the Thecus product. It has 2 NICs network cards, gigabit cards, which means your data going to the device and onto your network is going to be super fast. It has an HDMI output for your monitor so that if you're serving video format, you can actually take it right off the device and play it. It also has an Atom processor, which is the same type of processor that's used in today's iPads. It's very important to have automation when you're syncing. People forget. People work on projects, they go home, they don't move them over, their computer dies, and then you're in trouble. So Thecus actually has some syncing software built into the device. which is called Resync, which is great software. You can customize it, set up the syncing devices so that you know that all your data on your network is synced and secure. So it really sped up our workflow with editing, and it also helped with risk management, because now we know that it's on a secure, redundant solution.
So Mike, clearly, I spoke with Andrew this morning, and clearly he's been able to figure out very quickly what the Thecus N4800 could do for us. And as our head of our night watchman department, it's given him some more confidence. But as you can see in his testimonial there, JBOD, I'm not sure he knew exactly what that stood for. What does JBOD stand for?
So JBOD actually stands for just a bunch of disks. And a way to define that will be it combines the drives into one larger logical subsystem.
Interesting. So when it comes to risk mitigation, when you talk to your clients about this Thecus device or about all Thecus device, clearly they always have concerns, or do they? Do they bring it up, or do you bring it up that you better be prepared for a data loss?
Data loss is a concern for every SMB user. As Mr. Reid said, like if you lose your data, then it's very cumbersome. So what we do offer is our sync, where it syncs to multiple devices. In addition, we have other backup software as well, where you can use through your computer. And if you ever encounter some type of power failure, we also have the mini UPS to protect the natural shutting down directly.
So Hernan, let me go to you next. When it comes to QNAP and it comes to risk mitigation, clearly, this is something, again, in my opinion, tell me if I'm wrong, as a person, you don't need car insurance until you get in a car accident. You don't need health insurance until you have a health scare and you have to go into a hospital. Isn't it sort of the same way when it comes to business and your data?
Yes, unfortunately, Butch, that is the case. I have a lot of customers who call in saying, oh my God, I just lost all my data. I need help. I should have had a QNAP product. I should have backed it up. I should have saved my data. And they didn't. And so we talk to them, we train them on how they can do this and how important it is. You lose data. You used your customer's data. If you're a doctor, your system crashes, then you are in trouble, because that data information is your customers, your clients' livelihood. It'll affect their business as well. So again, we here at QNAP, there are different levels of security. There's a level of security where you can create a RAID configuration where it sort of mirrors the data that's on one disk will mirror onto the next disk. And from there, you can pull the data from your other PCs, from your other workstations, store it here. Another way you can actually do the different level of security is to send this data to an offsite remote location to another NAS that's sitting in the data center at home. And there's another way as well, using a third-party software party application where you pay a monthly service where you can actually send this data information out to a different service provider. One last thing also that at a local level can help someone. All of our units are hot swappable in a sense where you can actually come here, take out the hard drive, and take it home. So again, that's another level of security. When this thing is on your person, sitting in your jacket, there's nowhere safer than that. So again, different levels of security. We recommend every single one, not just one of them, in cases when it comes to business.
Interesting. So Tom, we've covered a lot in this show already, but when it comes to risk mitigation, when it comes to loss, when you look at it, if I'm a small to medium business, there are things going on now that probably I never had the capabilities of, never even thought about. If I'm new to NAS when it comes to this, when you have a newbie client or potential client like that, what are some of the things you address with them and you like to point out about Western Digital?
Well, we're taking a little different approach, Butch, with Western Digital's DX4000. We're building in data protection for the small business owner. He does not have to configure it. It already comes with enterprise-class hard drives. I call it the 5 levels of data protection. The best hard drives in the world. Built-in RAID, which is redundancy of spreading the data across multiple drives. It comes with 25 client computer backup licenses. So up to 25 users have the ability to do daily backups scheduled without any client intervention. So once the unit's connected to the NAS unit, automatically does a daily backup. So it takes that whole question of user error out of the equation. We have redundant power, redundant networking. So our networking is set up in what we call automatic failover protection. So if a network port goes out, it automatically fails over to the second port. And then the fifth level of data protection is off-site. We've all seen with floods and hurricanes and fires that a business is susceptible to disaster. And people pay thousands of dollars for insurance. They pay thousands of dollars to cart files off-site so they have a disaster protection. Well, today you can set that up with your personal cloud storage device, and it can constantly or schedule-wise can move that data off-site with no user intervention. So once again, we're addressing the business owner's issues of complexity and automating data protection and making it so they can't set it up in an unprotected state. So we're trying to enable that business owner to have enterprise class features and focus on their business instead of focusing on their IT.
You know, as I listen to you talk, and I heard Hernan and Mike talk, all three of you guys, when I get up this morning, quite honestly, I was excited about hosting this show. I'm not the personal cloud or storage expert. I wanted to hear what you guys had to say. And I know small to medium business people are hopefully finding, learning valuable things about NAS devices from this. But honestly, I get up this morning, I turn on the news, and of the day of this show, the biggest story is Hurricane Isaac, which is hitting the Gulf Coast right now. And while the news stations all talk about the personal loss that everybody has when roofs blow off and all this and that, we often don't think about the data loss, and we think about what could happen. And that was the first thing I thought of today is, wow, this, I guess I want to ask you guys to very briefly all answer this question, and I'll start with you, Mike. When a tragedy like that happens, when a hurricane blows through, does your business pick up? Do you guys look at it as an opportunity to say you can help businesses there, Mike?
Hi. Yes, absolutely. When users do use our NAS, their data is stored on the cloud or on the network. So the data is never really lost, and it's always there when they need it.
How about you, Hernan? You're out in the West Coast, but you do work globally. You're all over the place. Are you keeping an eye on what's going on with Hurricane Isaac, and how does that matter business-wise to you?
Yes, Butch. We are keeping an eye on that. And as you mentioned, we are a global company. We have locations throughout the whole world, the planet. And these things, they're unfortunate. But yes, we do conduct courses on this and how to protect yourself in case of a natural disaster. Here in Southern California, we have earthquakes as well. So, and obviously damages can happen. Servers get crushed, server rooms. How do you prevent that? And how do you prevent the loss of your data? And we do that. We talk to our customers. We train our distributors, our resellers on our channel on how to back up your data, how to get your information out. Like I said, yes, you can send it out to a third party. You can send it out. You can take the hard drive with you. You're leaving town, or a shelter. You rest assured it's secure because it's on your person. And again, in the sense that it's hot swappable, Butch, what that means is that take the drive out, easily take the hard drive out, take it home, add some more information on it, bring it back, and when I run it, the NAS at no point ever turns off. It's called hot swap technology. The unit will not turn off. It actually keeps running. It keeps running its course. Just bring it back in and keep going. So, in a sense, that is a level of security when it comes to physical and natural disasters.
And Tom, again, when let me just go back to the hurricane point. I would imagine that there are security measures, backup measures, ways small businesses, medium businesses can protect themselves nowadays for a lot less money and a lot more efficiently than they could before with the way NAS devices are now.
Yeah, absolutely, Butch. I mean, obviously, no one wants to experience a natural disaster like a hurricane or a flood or an earthquake, but they do happen, and you do have to be prepared. You know, we all talk about backing up your data and automating it and making it simple for the users so that they don't have to do the step, the device does it for it. We call it server-based backup, which means our DX4000 initiates the backup. It doesn't wait for the user to initiate the backup. That server-based backup is important to customers because they don't have to think about it. Now, I also say that, you know, backup is important, but what's really critical is recovery. You have to be able to recover the data. Backing it up is step one. Step two is in the time of need, you need to be able to recover your data quickly. And, you know, Hernan talks about hot swap. Yep, hot swap's critical, be able to hot swap drives. But having 3 options from our DX4000, you know, we can do device-to-device replication. So if you had 2 DX4000s, you can replicate from one to the other. If you want to use the USB ports on the device, you could plug in an external USB 3 drive and back up to the USB 3 drive. Or as I mentioned, we do have an online service that automatically sends the data into a secure public cloud infrastructure. So recovery is very important. You want to be able to recover either a file or you want to recover the complete image of the system so that you can get your business up and running in a timely manner.
So as we get to the final segment and final portion of our program here, gentlemen, let me ask you about Intel. You guys are competitors. You guys also work in the same industry. You know each other now even better since we've done this 3-part series. But of all the things you share, your companies and you use the power of Intel to power your products, Intel technology. What are the capabilities that Intel technology offers that enables you to power your products? Why are you comfortable with their technology? Why is it important? And what do you tell clients about Intel technology? Let me start with you, Mike.
Okay, so we choose Intel products because they're reliable, they're fast, and they're energy efficient and powerful. So as we are the creator in storage, we do manage 4 terabytes up to 4 bays of 4 terabyte drives. So we do have to choose a reliable and powerful CPU. And with the past showing Intel being superior in this case, it just leads us to a win-win situation.
And let me go to you, Hernan, next and talk about Intel. Why is it important that QNAP devices are powered by Intel technology?
Definitely, Butch. Intel is vital to QNAP and its performance. We are an embedded alliance partner with Intel, and in that we are actually on a schedule with them as processors change, as data becomes more and more heavy and more throughput is needed to the QNAP NASs. We actually count on Intel to kind of help us through in new technology and faster speeds and faster processing speeds. And it's very important to stay in alliance with them. And we're constantly changing. Unfortunately, our devices are constantly changing as well because technology constantly changes. You'll never see one of our units sitting here saying, hey, you know what? It's an older model. No, we have to continue moving because data changes and technology changes on a daily basis. And we stay in the line on the roadmap with Intel. Our products are extremely well. They depend on Intel. Some of our products actually have HDMI outputs where you can stream video via HDMI. That cannot be done without Intel processors and chipsets.
You know, I heard Mike and Hernan in there, Tom, talk about trust, talk about changes in technology. I mean, Intel has always been a trusted brand. They've always been on the forefront and on the cutting edge when it comes to the latest in technology. And now when you think about the cloud and the emergence of that, and specifically to our subject of this series, the personal cloud and small to medium businesses, I mean, I would think it's a huge advantage for you to walk in, to talk to a potential client, and to be able to mention that Intel powers your devices.
Absolutely. I mean, we call our product a small office storage server. Okay, and everyone knows that the leader in servers are all using Intel technology. It's the core of the architecture that enables, the full DLNA media server, the concurrent 25 user backups at the same time, the hundreds of people accessing the files concurrently, sharing, collaborating, and protecting all of this information. So you have to have a robust CPU. You have to have the quality and reliability that Intel provides. We always talk about our product as best of breed because we have Intel CPUs, we use a Microsoft operating system, and we use Western Digital hard drives. So we feel that we've got a very solid product from industry leaders, delivering a very strong value proposition with enterprise features at a small business price.
Very well said, man. And again, we thank Intel for sponsoring this content and helping us put on, hopefully, what you find to be invaluable, educational, informational about how you can help your business grow by managing and monetizing your data. All right, we're getting to the question which maybe a lot of you have had out there. We addressed it in the second episode, but let's bring it up again. This was tweeted in by Deb Andler, who we used off the front of the show. Tom, Mike, and Hernan, directly to the three of you. So how much do your devices cost? Let's start with you, Mike. How much does it cost from a small to medium business to implement a NAS system into mine if I haven't already?
Sure. So we're going to speak specifically about the N4800. The price ranges from $550 to $650 USD. So it depends on location. So that's roughly the amount here.
And then what other costs am I looking at when I implement a system, Mike, into it? I buy the device. Of course, I need, drives to store stuff in. What else am I looking at?
So pretty much just the drives, and then it would require the internet access. But besides that, it's an affordable solution.
And Hernan, to you, QNAP started in 2004, so you've been right on the beginning of this cloud and the development of it and the storage devices and how it's become more affordable. How much does it cost, for example, for the device that we used and implemented with you, the QNAP 469 Pro, and how much does it cost for a small to medium business?
Sure, definitely, Butch. Our QNAP NAS products retail at about $150. They start about $150 and range up, and the price obviously goes up. We're looking at a 12-base system will run you about $4,000. We do have larger systems, JBOT systems that are about obviously a little more expensive. We're looking at maybe 200 terabytes of storage in those units. So it's the whole gamut. We're looking at one bay, $150, and larger systems up, depending on your needs, whether it's home, small business, or enterprise. We like to think that we're in most of those spaces.
So Tom, we've heard Hernan and Mike talk about a couple hundred up to a couple of thousand. What am I paying for if I'm paying more money? What am I getting if I'm paying more money for a NAS device?
Well, great question. What you're getting is some of the things that I mentioned about the DX4000, for example, the 5 levels of data protection. The 25 client computer backup licenses alone are a $1,250 value that come for a product that you can start with a 4 terabyte system for probably $750, ranging up to a 12 terabyte system for maybe $1,400. So you're getting those 5 levels of data protection almost for free when you're buying this product. Our DX4000 comes with drives, so we like to point out that there's no time spent to go source drives. There's no time spent to set up RAID groups. There's no time spent to configure the product. It's a setup of the server and an attach to your local laptops or desktop computers. everything else is done for you when you buy the product. So, ours is an all-in-one approach. We feel that it's important to have a tightly integrated hardware-software solution, meaning everything from the RAID to the backup and restore to the network to the failover, all integrated with world-class drives from Western Digital. So that's what we offer for, as I said, a 4 terabyte system going on the street today is about $750 with 2 expansion bays. So you could add 2 additional drives and turn that 4 terabyte system into an 8 terabyte system as your business grows.
Great. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you again for being a part of our series, partnering up with us in Intel. You're already partnered up with Intel as a strategic partner with them. Proud to use their technology. Mike Chang from Thecus on the left, Tom Galvin from Western Digital in the middle, Hernan Lopez. And before I say goodbye, I want to give you all a chance to make a final comment, your final thoughts to small and medium business people about storage solutions, about all that we've talked about. Right when you're done, I'm going to send them to Intel and where they can buy devices and make it easy for them. So let me start with you, Hernan. We did this in the second episode with some final takeaways, but I guess what's your final thought if I'm a small to medium business person about a NAS device and about storage and data and access and backup and all that we've been talking about?
Thank you, Butch. Yes, definitely. If you're running a small business, home business, or even a home, for example, owning a NAS unit is very important in this day and age. The ability to access your data on the road, very, very, very important. The ability to access your information via your smartphone, via your laptop, via your PC, anywhere is vital, as well as data protection. And our QNAP NAS products give you that protection as well. There's no reason, again, $150 will give you a multimedia center. It'll give you a web server. It'll give you a backup server. It'll do all this for you, and it's all in one. Everything's included. Every small business should definitely own a network attached storage unit.
Well, I'll take it a step further and throw it to you, Mike. I mean, Hernan says every small business should own it. I don't. How can I afford not to have this if I'm a small to medium business with all the things I spend less than a couple of $1,000s on? How can I afford not to have this?
Exactly. I would suggest everyone to, especially SMB users, to reach out and get their hands on a NAS, specifically a 4-bay or a 5-bay, which is available to the market. Especially this show is focused on the personal cloud. Spending roughly about $600 USD, you don't only get the service of a personal cloud, but you get the service of you get the HDMI and the local display and the multimedia features as well. And as all our products from Tom, from WD, and QNAP, we all focus on Intel CPUs, and they are the best of the best. So without a doubt, they're the way to go.
You know, Tom, the final point from you, I have a question. I would imagine a lot of the people watching this or some of the SMBs out there are saying a common thing. Look, I'm just so busy trying to keep the wheels spinning, trying to keep paying the bills and keep my employees there and growing my business. I don't have the time to stop and implement a system. To that degree, we thought the same thing when they came in, and we were pleasantly surprised how easy they were to implement, what they could do for us, and what they helped us learn right away, the devices, what they could do for us. Is that along the lines of your final thoughts for people that might be thinking, I don't have the time for this?
Yeah. So Butch, our data would suggest that, half of small businesses can implement this product by themselves. The other half actually have someone that they count on to be their IT resource, be it a IT consultant or an IT VAR. The IT VAR community is very well aware of the capabilities of NAS products, especially the DX4000. It does not cost a lot of money, and it can definitely improve small businesses' data protection requirements. We talk about it being, the personal cloud or the on-premise cloud. In today's world, small businesses have to adapt. They have to support a lot of devices, whether it's a Mac or a PC. They need to be able to share. They need to be able to see their content from home or from on the road, from a consultant, from a vendor or a supplier. So that's all capable, and it's simple. That's the message to the SMB is the technology is finally there from Intel, from Western Digital, from Microsoft to enable this technology to be a competitive advantage for their business.
Mike, Tom, and Hernan, again, one last time, we want to thank you. We had a lot of people work hard on this series, and hopefully, again, we accomplished our goal of making it educational, informational, maybe even inspirational for small to medium business. We couldn't have done it without your help. We thank you for your input into the programming.
Thank you, Butch.
All right, guys, and
Thanks a lot, Butch.
now that I'm a personal cloud expert, I'll be seeing you at all the cloud events and all the NAS events out there. All right, so look for me rubbing elbows with you.
Yeah, what's a terabyte, Butch?
I still don't know, Tom. Come on, whatever. Take care, guys. Thanks for being a part of it. So thank you for being a part of our content. If you were new to this last episode and wanted to watch the others, we'll let you know in a second. More importantly, I need one of these. I'm a small to medium business. Where do I go? How do I buy a network attached storage device? Well, you can go to Intel and you can go right to this page, Centralized Storage Solutions with Intel architecture, and Intel can lead you to Western Digital, Ficus, QNAP, or any of their partners that are powered by Intel technology and show you how easy it is to do, how easy it is to buy, how easy it is to implement, and get you started on growing your business using your data to manage and monetize it in a better way. Again, thank you for being a part of this conversation. Thank you for being a part of this series. If you missed part of this, if you're just catching this on demand and we're like, I wish I was part of the live program, I would have sent some questions in. Well, you can still continue the questions with the hashtag personal cloud, but just go to this website, thepulseonpersonalcloud.com. There you will find all 3 episodes of what we did and lead you to anywhere you want to go, whether you want to buy, whether you want to talk about it, or whether you want to consume or share some of this content. Thanks to everybody who worked so hard on this show. Too many people to mention here at the Pulse Network. Thanks to Intel. Thanks to our partners, Tom, Mike, and Hernan. And thanks to you for being a part of this series, Forecasting the Personal Cloud. Take care.